Well, he says he doesn't think of himself as a writer, but a local man has just written and published a book. It is a history of the town where he grew up, Buckman, Minnesota. Becky Parker tells us why the author spent a year and a half documenting his hometown's roots.
15 miles down the road from Horst Hanneken's house in Piers is his hometown of Buckman. When his mother died in 2009, he started reflecting on his connections to the town where he grew up.
I started to think more and more about growing up in Buckman, and it was a small town, 150, 60, 70 people. And all the unique experiences that I had that just kids can't get anymore.
In March 2010, Horst came across some intriguing old photos that Buckman resident Esther Britz had collected.
Oh, maybe 25 years ago, I decided to delve into the history of Buckman to pass on to my children or maybe to donate to our city.
Those images sparked the idea to write a book about Buckman's history.
That got me hooked. One photo in particular of a little guy with one arm who used to work in the garage with my dad at Brandl's and lived across the street from us. He had his own little gas station in the 40s. And that was such a neat looking little thing.
Buckman, its pioneer history and cultural legacy, contains photos, restored advertisements, and articles from the first homesteaders to the early 1970s. It documents local businesses, sports teams, and key citizens like C.B. Buckman.
They all wanted to have it named after them, but C.B. Buckman, who was the fifth man that was here, had a horse, and the others didn't have a horse. So he got to the courthouse first, and that's why we're named Buckman.
Things in Buckman have changed since Horst grew up here. Many of the historic buildings shown in his book have since been torn down, but Horst hopes his book can provide a glimpse into the past for current and future residents of Buckman to look back on.
The few survivors there are that grew up in Buckman are all in their 80s. And I saw all of a sudden the urgency to get this completed.
Now that the book is complete, this town of 270 has its place in the pages of history. Becky Parker, Lakeland News.
And if you are interested in getting your hands on that book, you can do so at Funk's Market in Buckman and also F&M Bank in Piers.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.